Hey everyone, welcome back to the Giving Town podcast. This is part 2 of the Service Club panel interview with Newberg's various service clubs. If you haven't checked out part 1, this episode won't make a whole lot of sense to you. So go ahead and listen to that one first if you haven't done that already. If you have already listened to the first episode, this basically just jumps right into the next question. As a recap, the panelists were all talking about their favorite service projects, and we ended with Linda Sandberg sharing that Rotary is all about community. So that's just kind of where we left off. We'll jump right in. And right here, I'll just add the quick plug about this episode. And this podcast is brought to you by my real estate team, the Joyful Roberts Group. We're a family real estate team here in Newberg, and we're licensed with Premier Property Group. In fact, my dad, John Roberts, just got his license last week and joined our team. So if you know John, feel free to reach out to him and congratulate him. We are definitely excited to have him and his expertise in quality and continuous improvement in operations. So yes, that does mean that I'm the managing broker for both my parents. So it's going to be a fun adventure for all of us. Okay, and with that, let's get back to part 2 of getting to know Newberg service clubs. In your opinion, what are the 2 to 3 main benefits of being in a service club in general? Obviously, you've chosen your own service clubs for a reason, but there's many people here who may be deciding between joining one of the 4 clubs or maybe they'll join multiple. So just in general, what do you think are the main benefits of being a part of a service club?
Well, Soroptimist has about 21 members and 10 attend on a regular basis. So in a meeting, you get a lot of opportunity to share your voice. And I think that is, often we see people join a nonprofit and they feel maybe they don't know what to do. You know, they're foreign to it. I was foreign to it. I hadn't been in a club since I was in Girl Scouts. You know, and so it gives you an opportunity to learn to speak up, speak out, share experiences that you have, people you know that could use help, that kind of thing. And so your leadership ability grows. And so that will help you both on your professional level as well as your personal level. And so that's what I've enjoyed about it. It's expanded, like the others have said, what your knowledge of how other people are living within your community and internationally as well. So I think it just really helps you grow as a person. Your business skills you can use in a nonprofit. Even though it's called a nonprofit, you have to run it like a business in order to end up with the funds that you can give away. And it also stretches you to do a lot of asking, seeking out resources in your community, and so it creates you, it helps you to be a little bit stronger person to say, do you have, we could use, and to bring all those connections together.
Newberg Kiwanis Club, we have about 33 members and probably 15 to 20 that are regular attendees at our noon lunch on Thursdays. And I'd just say that the volunteerism, giving back, and the fellowship just of other people in the club.
I think that in terms of 2 to 3 of the main benefits of our club, I'm going to identify serving the community and also meeting the needs of the community, and also helping to be a role model. And I'm going to say that in terms of leadership. I think that, at least for me, being part of Rotary is an opportunity I look forward to it every week to meet at our meetings, because you're meeting with like-minded people that have an interest in helping the community, people that are positive, people that have great smiles like Karen, Dan, and just wanting to do well. And I also realized that it's an opportunity to get engaged in the group, and it also has provided me a lot of leadership opportunities. I became president of the club, and I was on the fast track, and the year that prior to becoming president, you go off to a weekend retreat of leadership, and you learn a lot of things that will help you in your year of leadership, but also just, the different projects, the things that you're involved in. The work that I'm involved in Guatemala, it boggles my mind in terms of, the coordination and the working with other groups and the politics and again, always just focusing on the work that you can provide to help the end user, the people that really need it most. And I've seen many cases where a lot of politics will get in the way, and the only one that it hurts is the people that really need the service. So being able to have an influence to minimize that politic or, those issues to really get the service to those that need, it's just, it's a huge benefit. And I think that there's a lot of self-development of your own person that takes place when you really give yourself wholeheartedly to this whole process. And as I said, there's so many different levels that you can get involved in, and you can grow with Rotary. It's unlimited. It really is.
I think for me, it's a built-in way for me to serve. I'm busy. I have my own business, and our club, I'll back up, we have about 65 to 85 members. I'm on the membership committee. I should know this, but we usually have about 40 people that come at 7 o'clock in this building every Thursday morning, and I would love to invite you all to breakfast. But for me, it's the opportunity to learn. I'm also on the program committee, and so we have some really great programs. The Noon Club has some really great programs, but we got to talk to a gal by the name of Carrie Bates, and Carrie Bates is a swimmer, and she dealt with substance abuse. She's an Olympian, and she did that at a very young age. And for her to be able to tell her story at Rotary was very beneficial. Augie actually is here today because of the program that he gave about the work that he does internationally down in Guatemala. And so we're constantly trying to bring in speakers that really touch, move, and inspire people. For me, it's social and fun. And I think our club has a lot of fun. There's a joke that we don't sing. Back in the day, the Noon Club would sing at Rotary, which I kind of like singing, but our club never does that. I don't think you guys do that any.
No, we don't.
Nope, they don't.
Also, our singers.
Yeah, they lost.
I was sung to. Yeah, I was shocked.
Yes.
No one sang to me.
And I think the coolest thing for me is the global reach. When we were traveling in Croatia, I called up a Rotary group, and I got to hang out with their club for cocktails. And so it's like I always have a built-in friend. And when I travel, when I go to Sun River, I go to their Rotary club. And so it just kind of gives me a way to expand my network, and that's what I like most.
Thank you. So most of you have already shared an example. So this next one we'll keep to maybe 30 seconds or so of an example of one of the main ways that your club serves internationally.
Our club does not serve internationally. Our funds are at about $13,000 a year. So we keep it within the community as a decision our club has made. Occasionally when there's a national disaster, our president of Soroptimists of Americas will do an outreach and see if we would like to donate to the international effort that way.
So your club specifically doesn't, but Soroptimist as a whole is an international.
There are clubs all over the world. So, if there was a disaster like Louisiana, the president would outreach and say, would your club like to donate funds that would go to that? But to date, our fundraising has reached a new high of about $13,000 a year. But like I said, we've chosen to keep it local. So.
I think I mentioned these, the iodine deficiency disorder, maternal and neonatal tetanus, but I'm most proud of the KCCP, the Kiwanis Children's Cancer Program. I think they've just done some incredible things, and it is expanding a little bit more. We also have we support the Mount Hood Kiwanis Camp, which is a camp for adults with disabilities. It's up by Mount Hood, and I guess they're full for this year. They have about 470 campers that are going there, and we usually go spend a day to set up the cots and get the camp all ready to go too.
You know, our club, and again, I think this is true for a lot of clubs, is that, you know, you may organize and you're created with a certain mission in mind, and that evolves over time. And I know that our club, for the longest time, we focused only on youth services, and it wasn't until, maybe the 90s that we said, you know, we donate occasionally to international service, but we locally want to get involved. And we grew to the point where we were able to do that with our members. And we also decided that we were going to allocate a certain percent of our budget to international service. And we've done that. And currently we have 3 major areas that we are involved internationally, and it's the Guatemala project in Antigua, Guatemala, and we serve 2 villages in the high mountains there. We also have an EMS project in Nepal, and in Nepal, people that are injured and need to get emergency services, they can't get to them because it's so remote. And we just this year we partnered up with another company that had GPS units to help the ambulance people get to these injured people. So that's just another great service. And then the third is we have been really inspired by the Interact Club that have teamed up with a group out of Kenya, East Africa, and they are providing scholarships with our Rotary support to high school students. And again, these are individuals that high school education is their key to a better life. And what a scholarship does for a student in East Africa is amazing. So those are the 3 different international projects that we're currently involved in.
So besides Toda Chair, our club manufactures something called Toda Chair, and Toda Chair is a dental chair with the help of 8X Engineering. We do a lot of joint projects. Rotodent we work with Rotodent, but it's a mobile operatory that people it's in a box and they can take. Well, they also need a chair, and so we have a Toda Chair, and that will go out with the Rotodent or anybody that's practicing medicine for an exam chair. So we focus on that. And then I want to kind of highlight what our exchange students really work on, and that is to raise money for shelter boxes. Shelter boxes are things it's a box that we can send into Turkey, and it has everything they need to survive after a natural disaster. So food and water and clothing where they can sleep and they can fend for themselves until bigger aid comes in.
Thank you. I'm going to combine the next 2 questions about fundraising. So basically, could you just share some of the main ways that your club does fundraising and how the public can get involved?
Fundraising is the area I've chosen to focus on in our Soroptimist Club, so I'm well versed on it, so I've got to cut this back. So when our club first started, you immediately think of what is something we can do, what is something I can manage, what is something we can handle. And during my time at Newberg Steel, we knew the owners of what was called Berry Noir, and they are a co-packing company here in Newberg. And what co-packing means is they produce the product, and if you want to private label it, you can. And so that's what they were gracious enough to say, yes, you can buy product from us and put your Soroptimist label on it. So we got started offering locally produced jams and syrups. And in my past years, I managed bazaars, and so that seemed to be a natural thing. I knew we could sell product at a bazaar, and so we've continued to do that. It doesn't get us a ton of money, but at the same time it does promote product from our Newberg area, which is, got agriculture as a base, and that's what I grew up with. Newberg was known as an agricultural community, only then it was strawberries and beans, etc., and now it's the wine country, so we still have agriculture as a base. It's just shifted a little bit. So, it just kind of has led to additional ways, but we do use that bazaars and holiday bazaars to reach people and advertise for Soroptimists, but being able to put our label on a product is also a way of branding and continuing to keep it in front of the public. Soup's On, like I said, is our major fundraiser of the year, and ways you can be involved is to help us sell tickets, buy a ticket. You can donate something for the auction. You can, it's really fun to donate a soup. We're hoping to continue to grow that program. We're not sure how to grow it because in tasting the soups, you can't taste 20 or you'd be, So we've got some logistics to work out there. One teeny little thing I'm just going to mention, we've started getting involved with the bottle drop program. And that is really a simple way for fundraising for us. And so I brought some bags with me today. The blue bags are signifying that you're putting your things in a nonprofit. And these have the Soroptimist tag on it. So once you fill it, you can either give it back to me, take it to Newberg Steel, or take it to Fred Meyer at the bottle drop section there and put it in the specified bottle drop bins if you have one of the keys that open the door.
As I mentioned, our big fundraiser is the golf tournament, August 30th, and if your business would like to be a whole sponsor, it's like $500, and we put a sign on your business, about your business, and we need golfers. We also do an online auction at that time, too, and if you go to our website, newbergkiwanis.org, there'll be some information about that online auction at the time.
For the Newberg Rotary Club, we have three major sources of revenue. The first is the joint pancake breakfast that we do annually at the Old Fashioned Festival, which is always a fun event, and it's a community event too. So it's just a great. And I have to say that it's we serve thousands of pancakes, but we do not make thousands of dollars. So it's really more a community effort than it is a significant fundraiser. Our more significant fundraiser is an auction that we do annually, and it has been a real challenge for us, especially during COVID. We've seen some pretty significant drops in the amount that we've raised, but it's coming back, and we hope to have a much more successful year this year. And then the third is we also are in receipt of funds from the Rotodent sales, and this is the ADEC Rotodent project, and we thought that that might diminish, and we've received word that ADEC wants to continue that, so we're really happy with that. ADEC sells these Rotodent units, and after they reach a certain threshold of sales that helps support the overhead, then a percentage of that then goes to the two clubs here. And fundraising is really, really significant. And I'm going to say, as a member of the foundation, in 2015 to about 2019, that was probably our heyday because we were giving back to the community $225,000 a year, which is a huge amount for this size of community. Yeah, we're not at that level anymore, but we look to hopefully return to that level. But we need, the funds in order to do that. So, anything that you could do for us, we always are looking for volunteers, and there's always opportunities.
One thing, I'm just going to jump in here kind of out of turn, but as a part of the Noon Rotary Club with the auction, there's usually a lot of items compared to the number of people who come. So if you love wine, there's a lot of wine that didn't get bid on, so it's a way that you can get really exceptional wine or other items at the auction. So that's a way that you can get involved, is come to the auction.
Maybe you need to charge for a
That would be very expensive if you had a family of 5 that included boys. Our Rotary Club, we also have an auction. Ours is at Christmas time. And it's a good fundraiser. I think we do paddle raises, and the paddle raise for that is really for the exchange students. That program is near and dear to our hearts, as it is with the Noon Club. Summerfest, the money that we raise there actually goes to our international program in La Plata, Mexico. And pancake breakfast, obviously, and then the toted share revenue goes into our foundation. So when you look at Rotary, you have funds that go to the general fund and then funds that go to both of our foundations. And we are I think all service clubs are very, very careful about how we spend the money, how we account for the money, and how the public perceives how we're taking care of your funds. We take it very, very seriously at all of these levels.
Thank you.
I'd like to add to that because I was saying that our fundraising has diminished the last couple of years. Our giving really has not. And we have run a deficit budget the last 3 years. And we also were very prudent, and I give credit to some of the earlier Rotarians on the foundation. We have invested some funds, and because we had the money, we said we were building it for a rainy day, and these COVID years were rainy days. And so, we tapped into that, and again, the reason we tapped into it because there was a need, and the community needed services, and we were able to step up and do that. And again, I think that's a reflection of what a great organization can do for the community.
Thank you. All right, next one. This can just be a brief answer, but if there is one, what is the main common misconception that people have about your club?
I thought about that, and Augie has asked me this question before. Because our focus is women and girls, are men allowed to be members? And yes, they are allowed to be members, but we don't have a lot of men members, and I think that's because our mission is more focused on women and girls and the needs that they have. Men out there, if you're looking to meet women, this would be a great place.
Maybe a misconception is that we're kind of an exclusive group or something, but I think one of the biggest problems is that people don't know what we do, and we would love to. We're hopefully very inviting and a fun group, and we would love to have anybody join us.
Can we also meet people who want us?
Yeah.
What's that?
Can we meet men there?
Sure.
I think that's probably a very common misperception for most groups is that it's a special group that does a special service and it only allows special people in it. And I can say for Rotary, if they let me in, they can let all of you guys in.
That's true.
I think with Rotary, there is a misconception that you have to be in management, you have to be the business owner or the president of an organization. And back in the day, that was the case. You also had to be a man. But that changed in the mid-'80s, and that was when I was working for Junior Achievement, and a lot of the clubs did not allow women in, but they would let me speak about Junior Achievement. And so we are growing. I think Rotary in general, the number of females is definitely growing, and females are becoming more part of the leadership fabric of Rotary. And we really just are here to serve, and we want, if you love service and you love your community and you like to have friends, then we might be that club. And if you love early mornings, obviously. Scott, not so much. That's why he's a noon club person.
Can you speak to one of the misconceptions of Rotary about maybe a minimum age in the high double digits? Is there a minimum age that you have to be? It's not rich old men eating out anymore. It's not Romeo's, right? So it's
No.
Young people can join young professionals. It's not limited to 50 and older, 40 and older.
Yes, Alex she has grown up in Rotary, and she has brought a lot of young people into specifically our club. And I think with Rotaract and Interact and Rotaract, more and more people are coming into, I think, service clubs, because we are focusing, all of us, on the younger generations now.
Thank you.
I think also is that, in the past, a lot of the groups, had older members. I know that when I joined in '96, it was pretty much a club of white-haired individuals or no-haired individuals. And I always was proud to say I was a member of the Noon Club, which was considered the old man's club because I had dark hair. But I also remember one time I was in Guatemala, and there were 10 countries represented at a meeting, and there was a gentleman from Canada. He said, we are 10 different Rotary clubs here today, but yours is the most impressive. And I asked him, well, why is that? Why do you single us out as being the most impressive? And he said, well, look around. All the members you see here are, gray-haired individuals. Your club, your representative, they're all young individuals. And we had a lot of dental students and medical students, and they were all, in school still. But they were there working. And so I think that, it's important for us, in order to perpetuate the service that we do, we need the youth also.
Thank you. Next one is, who is the ideal person that you would want to join your club, and how do you actively recruit new members?
Gosh, I thought about this quite a while, what to say. Everyone's an individual, and if your heart is in the right location, that you want to reach out to people and help, there is room for you in any of the clubs that are represented here this morning. So I think it's if you have the right mindset and the right heart and the right attitude, you're welcome to come, and you will find a spot of where your gifts and what experiences you've had in the past, that you'll be able to share them and put them to use. It also gives you a chance to explore things that maybe you have never done before. But in speaking to wanting younger members, I struggle with all kinds of computer skills. And I know the young adults in the world were raised with that. And so they don't have trouble attaching this to that and that to that and moving it all around and then shipping it off somewhere. And so that I realize that's a need our club has. If you like working with numbers, we always need a treasurer, because those men are harder to find, and I know Augie's been treasurer at Rotary for a long, long time, and it's really hard, but you don't have to have a lot of money, which I think if you have time, we can put it to use. Most of the clubs have a membership fee, and so I was going to launch into the next one. Our annual membership fee is $142, and about 40 of that stays locally to manage our club, the operation ends of things, and the rest goes to our Soroptimists of Americas, and they provide general liability insurance that covers us at our events. They provide all kinds of ideas. They're constantly sending us emails about this club's doing that, and all the communications, and they problem solve for you. So you need a little bit of money to join each year, and then up to you if you want to donate additional or have items you can give. You just base that on what you have available in your own household.
Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, and you can all go ahead and tag on to that. So in addition to who the ideal person might be and what you do to recruit, just share the time and financial commitment for anyone who might join.
Okay. Yes. Anybody who has a heart for service, and especially for children. When I add to the last one too, really COVID was really tough on our K-Kids programs. We used to have K-Kids in 4 of the 6 elementary schools here in Newberg, and we're struggling to get those back up and running. And so we would love to have actually some parents of children in those schools, and that could help us get those up and running again. The last 3 years we've done a lot to support St. Paul too. We have a Key Club there at St. Paul High School, and a K-Kids Club now at St. Paul Elementary School. They have their meeting tomorrow morning. Our dues are $175 a year, and if you're in a business, oftentimes your business will pay that. We meet every Thursday, but you certainly don't have to come every Thursday for lunch. And we're not quite as big as Rotary, so we don't have Bon Appetit, but we just kind of rotate between Nara Teriyaki, Odmo's Pizza. We just have different local restaurants that we get lunch from, and that's about $8 to $10 per person per Thursday.
I think we all have certain aspirations of wanting to be the best person that we can be, and we look for ways to achieve that. And I think that any and all of these social groups in the community are ways to do that, and I know that that's been the case for me, and I think that it just means that you have to check out the organization and see how it can help you be the best that you can be. And we ourselves at our Rotary Club, we are trying to recruit individuals, and they say there's never a free lunch, but on the contrary, we offer you a free lunch. And we have a new program where we try to invite people to come to our meetings for a free lunch and just meet some of the other individuals to see what Rotary is all about. So if you are ever interested in a free lunch, I have a ticket for you.
We're basically all looking for the same type of individuals, but I would really, really encourage you to not make it, I want to go to Rotary, I want to become a Rotarian. It took me about 3 years, believe it or not, to decide that I wanted to become a Rotarian, and I would really encourage you to go to different service clubs multiple times and sit with it, because I think I've seen members jump in and then they're like, holy cow, what am I doing? And so take your time and really look at the various clubs. We're $60 a quarter or $240 a year, and you have the option to buy breakfast or not.
Thank you. Nagi, did you mention the dues?
No, I didn't, and I didn't do that purposely. Our dues, I believe, are in the neighborhood of about $700 a year, and again, sometimes you're business or your company will sponsor that. That also includes lunch for each of those meetings. We also have a program where people, if that is too much, we have some scholarships that are available to assist with that. And for people who want to really learn about all the great things that we do in the community, we have a special program. It's called Friends of Rotary. And basically, you can be a Rotarian without having to pay any dues. You're not a member, a voting member of the club, but you get to participate. And more specifically, you get to participate in all the projects that we are currently having at that point in time. So it is another way to get involved to see if Rotary is a good match for you.
Thank you. And to be clear, not everyone has to pay for lunch, so you can get an exception.
Correct.
Which is in the neighborhood of how much? So what would it be without the lunches?
I think lunch is about $10, so 10 times 50 is,
So it's in the neighborhood of about $200 if you don't do the lunches. Okay, thank you. All right, last question here. What are other? Oh,
Jackie didn't get to say how often they meet.
how often do you guys meet?
We meet once a month, Thursday nights at 6 o'clock at First Federal Community Room. And we're not as sophisticated. We just take turns bringing snacks. So it gets you through the dinner hour. So.
Thank you. And I would encourage all of you to go to at least one time to all the different clubs, at some point in the next few months, like Linda was saying, just to try that out. Last question here. What are some other ways that the community can get involved with your club? And I know we're just about at the end of time, so try to make this one brief if you could. Thank you.
I've kind of touched on them, but a major one would be is if you work for a company that would like to sponsor our Soups On, we would love to grow our sponsorships. And so, say, for example, I'll pick on Pam because I know her the best. She works for Edward Jones. She might go to Heath and say, gosh, would you like to help be a sponsor for Soups On? And the cost is anywhere from $250 to $2,000. It'll get you four free tickets to come into Soups On that you can share with your employees. It'll get you some advertising. Your name will be on the program. And that's how our sponsorships work. And I think they work similarly for all of you. But that's an area we would like to grow, is if you could work with your employer, or that would be awesome. Today we're going to give away a couple of our products. We've associated with Lucky Dutch, and they are now packaging our scone mix for us. And so we'll have a drawing and then a jar of jam to eat with your scones. So buying those products when we're at a bazaar for the holidays would be awesome. Or even if you need some corporate gifts. Say, for example, you're going to have a meeting and you would like to take something from your area and share it. We've done that for like Lewis Audio Video. They have a holiday party and so they ordered 30 scone mixes to especially have to give to their employees. So,
She also has shipping boxes. I always ship stuff every year to my relatives out of state because they love Oregon products, and it's really a good deal.
yeah, so it includes hazelnuts and then some spices out of Medford, Oregon, so you can mix and match and make your own kind of gift boxes. So I think, and then like I said, we'd love to have you take some bottle drop things. I mean, these are just easy fundraiser.
Some of that stuff, or do you come by the club?
Website.
Is there a website for that?
There is a website, yes, SICV, Soroptimists International of Chehalem Valley, so it's sicv.org. And I'm hoping to pass out all these things so you can take home some written information and reference. Yeah. Thanks.
I did just want to mention really quickly one other program that we have Thursday at our meeting. We have a Terrific Kid. So every school, elementary and middle school, picks a terrific kid, and they bring them to our meeting, and the principal or the teacher talks about that. And yep, it's an awesome program. Yeah, we love that.
Terrific bomb.
And as I mentioned too, we are just looking for some parents maybe that we want to start a K-Kids Club at Joanne Austin, Edwards, Ewing Young, Crater. We have great programs going at Maple Rush and Dundee right now. The Dundee group just raised $400 for Dornbecker with a little coin drive. And we'd love to start builders at Mountain View and Chehalem Valley. So if you happen to know any parents that are interested there. And I also put on your tables, we would love to have you visit. So if you want to come by, and I'm going to do a letter to the editor shortly that'll have my phone number in it too. So if you'd like to come to a meeting, just let me know. Thank you.
Well, I have to say that if you want to help, you can be a volunteer. We have a lot of different projects, and that's a great way to meet a lot of wonderful people in the community and also to be involved in a service project. And as I mentioned, you can also become a friend of Rotary without membership. And also, if you want to help, we also are open to receiving any kind of financial contribution that you would like to make to the work that we do. And Jackie's going to give out, a wonderful gift, and I'm here without anything, but what my promise is I'm going to give a stack of free lunch cards to Linda for each of you so that you will have an opportunity to come visit the Rotary Noon Club.
And I will give you guys a stack of breakfast things as well, which I don't have today, but
Your meals are covered for the week, I guess.
yeah, meals are covered. But I just really want to say thank you for all of you guys. This was the first time that we have ever done this with Leadership Chehalem Valley. And really just get involved. And I will follow up in an email to all of you with all of our emails and phone numbers, as well as when the various clubs meet, so you can engage. And please, if you want to go, to Rotary or whatever, take a buddy with you. It's always more fun if you're going into a strange place to take another person from your cohort with you.
Well, thank you, everyone. It's been great learning more about you all. I hope this was valuable for all of you all listening. This will become an episode on the Givingtown podcast, so Linda can send that out as well when it is published. And for the sake of time, we're going to cut it off right there, and then maybe offline, if you have questions, you can ask individually. But thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure hearing from you all. Thank you for tuning in to the Givingtown podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it with a friend who you think might benefit from hearing it. While more and more people are continuing to hear about this podcast, I still need your help to spread the message about all the people and organizations that make Newberg so great. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Thank you for tuning in to the Givingtown podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it with a friend who you think might benefit from hearing it. While more and more people are continuing to hear about this podcast, I still need your help to spread the message about all the people and organizations that make Newberg so great. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next episode.